Hi Earthlings, I'm Trice. Has 2020 been a rocky, turbulent year for you? Full of train wrecks? There's been so much change, destruction, and uncomfortable feelings, which can bring up anger, resentment, frustration. And I'm going to show you how to let that go almost instantly by invoking the power of Hooponopono, an ancient Hawaiian prayer that allows you to forgive yourself effortlessly. Now, what is Hooponopono? It is an ancient Hawaiian prayer for forgiveness that allows you to release negative emotions, energy, conscious or subconscious, easily. Now, I've heard about this a while ago and I found it fascinating. And the first thing I asked myself, well, does it really work? And I'm going to show you how I did something really bad. I did something really bad that I cannot take back, and how Hooponopono allowed me to forgive myself and move on. But first I'm going to break down this prayer in English. It's a 4-line prayer. And very simply, the first line is, I am sorry. The power in this is that you are accepting 100% responsibility for every single event that manifests in your life. Your husband left you, you take 100% responsibility for it. You got fired from your job, you take 100% responsibility for it. A bee stinged you in your garden, again, you get the idea. And that is where all the power of this prayer comes from. It allows you to center in the eternal truth that you are a divine creator and that you, through your energy, conscious or subconscious, have been pulling these things into your universe. And then the second line says, please forgive me. That is just cathartic to say in general when you've done something wrong, especially when you can feel it so intensely in your heart. That second line is pretty self-explanatory. The third line is thank you. This line wasn't as intuitive for me to understand. What you are thinking is you are thanking the problem for it coming into your life, for all that it has given you, and now that you can release it. And the last line is I love you. This is speaking directly to the divinity in you, in me, in all of us, in all things. That from that point, we are pure, cleansed, whole, eternal, not bad and should be shamed and we've done something wrong. So the whole prayer goes like this. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now, how does this work? Why is this so powerful and not just words? I'll show you how it takes away the pain of even things that cannot be changed and you think cannot be forgiven. How Hooponopono works is a little bit of a mystery, but most of its power comes from accepting 100% responsibility of everything in your life. It's easier to see it on the opposite. Imagine if you walked around and said nothing was your fault. If nothing's your fault, that might feel better in the short term, but it also gives you no power. You're powerless to change anything. If nothing's your fault, you're simply just a victim of the situation, and you might get blown left or right into happiness, sadness. It's a very powerless place. Now, taking 100% responsibility for the things in your life, especially the things that you did wrong and you can't take back, can be quite painful. But I have found that this prayer has given me so much inner peace. I really had to share this story. It's kind of sad. It's really sad. My college roommate, Adria, has recently died from natural causes. She just went to sleep and never woke up. Now that's sad enough. I don't know if this has happened to you, but when somebody dies, I instantly think, well, what was the last thing that I said to them? So I searched through my text messages, and I see her last text message. I had never read it. I'd never even seen it. And worse, I never replied. She was asking if I wanted to go on a trip with her to see our other college roommate. Of course I would have loved to. But part of me thinks she took my silence as, I'm not interested, I don't care, I'm too busy for you. And it might seem small, just missing somebody's text message. But when you can't go back and tell them how much you love them, it seems very cruel. And it's very hard to forgive oneself. So, I had seen this prayer for a while, and I had practiced it, but I hadn't found that, aha, it worked, I'm free, until I used it on this text message. I said, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I didn't say it for that long. I said it for about a minute or 2 minutes, and I could tell she forgave me because I forgave myself. Then something else crazy happened. I'm staying with my parents for the summer here in Montana with my children. All of a sudden I see on the counter my nephew's little baby handprint from when he was like 3, he's now 10, was shattered into a million pieces. My son had broken it on the floor while he was trying to reach for his iPad charger. This was also something that I could not fix. Now, this event would have haunted me for months. But since that prayer was so fresh in my mind, I used it again. And again, I felt the effects of its magical power. If you have used it and you have found proof of its power, please leave it in the comments below. It is better than 10 glasses of wine. It really is. It will cure you of your hurt and restore you to your perfect divinity. Now, if you feel like that's cheating, that you should be not absolved of your wrongdoings, please don't interpret what I'm trying to say as not trying to correct a wrong. But when there's nothing left to be done, the only thing that you can do to heal yourself and the world is to forgive yourself. Now, how do you use it? It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and I'll show you how now. So how do you invoke the power of Hooponopono? That's hard for me to say. You can do it anywhere. But these are my 3 most powerful ways. If you have nothing, no cell service or anything, and you're just by yourself, you can just repeat it over and over in your head. But sometimes when I'm in the grip of despair, or having even a hard time of thinking positive thoughts, I just play one of the meditations online. You can just Google it on YouTube, and many of the meditations will come up. Usually they just say those words over and over and over. So if your mind is hijacked with negativity, if you feel like there's no rainbows left in your world, borrow somebody else's tongue, borrow somebody else's mind, and infuse them into your own. It works just as well. I did Google how other people use it, and I really love this suggestion. So I can't take it as my own. But they said, use it when people around you are misbehaving. And I added, when you are judging others. It cancels out these negative emotions from growing weeds in the garden of your mind and allows you to release resistance, be free to fly, and manifest yourself towards the things that you want rather than the things that you do not want. And with that, I kiss you Until next time, ciao.